Good morning, everyone. We're coming to you from a real brisk Wednesday morning today in late October here in upstate New York. Today we're going to talk about, I guess what I would call time marching on, sort of, among some like regulatory things. So I was thinking about it, and I was reading an article that the new Mustang has to have is the computer on it's locked, and I guess basically it just has rolling encryption, kind of like I believe it's similar to like two-factor authentication that you would use to like log into a lot of websites now. I think like so like the host and the alright, so I'm not a super technical guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. I believe what happens is, okay, so you can use your cell phone now to control a lot of aspects of your car. Okay, fine. But in order to make a secure connection that hackers can't get into, they have to encrypt it. So I believe the phone and the car have to, see the same, different generated number every however the timestamp is, every 5 minutes, every 1 minute, whatever it is. They have to keep recognizing each other and seeing that they have the same encrypted code, or they won't stay connected. I think that's how it works. Somebody knows, comment. So basically, but regardless of all that, it makes it harder to get into the car and do modifications to the ECU and whatnot for like power mods and stuff. Now, I guess the Corvettes are locked, and they did find a way in, the new C8s, and they did find a way in, so I guess it's possible. But so okay, if they can get in, great. But I guess just more on a higher level, it's just symbolic of the fact that, for better or worse, and you can make a lot of arguments one way or another. I hate to use this term, guys. The good old days. I don't like using that term because that suggests that whatever time period of history was perfect. But the days of less regulation and a little pure freedom, maybe, kind of don't like using that term either in this case, but I think you'll get my point, are ending / over. Obviously in the 70s it came out with emissions equipment, and that was the first time where you technically couldn't modify cars, right? Emission systems and add power and all that kind of stuff, really to be within the technical limits of the law. However, for better or worse, I keep using that term, none of it was really that regulated, right? Like, okay, there was a sticker that said, whatever, carb compliant, whatever compliant, and you could just modify things anyway, and you could still get your state inspection, and really nobody cared. Now, that's a whole other conversation, but you could easily do it for the last, 40 years, whatever, right? So then the question becomes, I don't know, was that a good thing? Was that a bad thing? Was that neutral? I mean, it's interesting to me because probably 9% of people, 90 plus percent, probably close to 100% actually, are never going to care to modify a car in their whole entire life. And if they do modify a car, it's going to be something that's legitimately compliant anyway with current regulations, because it's just not going to, it's just, they're going to paint their brake calipers or something, right? Like, whatever, who cares? So, for all the rest of us, though, who do want to, take that next step, exhaust intake, tunes, cam, headwork, whatever it is, turbos, so long as the gas car is around, it very well might get to a point where they don't necessarily ban the gas car, because I don't know. I think we've gotten politicians in this country, in the world, I feel like I've gotten smart enough over the last 50 years, last 20, 30 years maybe, to realize that you can't just ban stuff and expect it to actually not get used. You gotta do soft shadow bans, for lack of a better term. And what I mean by that is you have to make it so prohibitively difficult for somebody to use something that they just decide themselves not to, right? So if you're you're gonna ban a gasoline car, right? I don't know. I mean, would people make their own gas? Would they convert them to propane or natural gas? And I don't know, right? Like, there's different things they might try to do to still be able to use it, especially when older generations, such as presumably myself, if they were to try to ban gas cars 10, 20, 30 years from now, older generations who kind of still want some of that stuff, right? Especially motorcyclists. I think motorcyclists would be the hardest ones to convince to get over. But guys, chilly guys. Woo! But so you gotta do this shadow banning thing, and I think that's what they're trying to do, right? They're saying, okay, yeah, you can have your 600 horsepower Mustang, brand new, out of the box, but we're gonna lock it down so hard and put a strict emissions reg on it that you actually can't modify it further. We're just gonna make it so it's basically impossible. And that's that's what I think we're gonna start seeing happening. I mean, it's already gotten harder. So the DCT, the dual clutch transmissions in the 5th gen, or I don't know what gen they are, the one generation old Mustangs, the current ones I should kind of say, is still locked. Nobody's found a way into it, I guess. I believe, don't quote me on this, the 8-speed Corvette transmission is also still locked. Or at least it was as of a few years ago, I think. So I mean, they're getting to a point where they're able to stump the aftermarket, I feel like. And if they haven't stumped them yet, they're getting close, right? And and then it comes down to even if you technically could do something, the aftermarket has to be profitable to do it. And if it becomes so expensive to unlock a car that 99% of people aren't gonna, enthusiasts aren't gonna want to buy the service, then they just won that way too, right? So it's a bit of a cat and mouse game, and you can. And I get different people's opinions on it one way or another. I'm not even taking a strong stance for the most part. The only thing that frustrates me slightly about it is, I don't know, I think what made America, and I hate to even just say America, I think what makes humans on the planet so great and amazing is our ability to create and innovate. And guys, it's the aftermarket community in the car world, in the motorcycle world and stuff, that has spawned so many changes to the stock vehicles. I mean, guys, the first turbos and superchargers and stuff weren't on stock production cars, right? They were aftermarket mods that people did and came up with and thought of. I mean, there were guys back in the day putting diesel truck turbos on cars. Because that was just, that's what they had. And I could works on a diesel, I want to work on a gas engine. They spec'd it all out, they sized it up and sent it, right? And so it's that kind of innovation is critical to our development as a country. And I don't know, I mean, we're one of the most creative societies in the world. That's just a fact, right? We have a ton of patents and stuff like that. So, I don't know, the more we lock stuff down and regulate, what I'll call more minor things. Again, we're talking the aftermarket car world is, a single-digit percentage of the overall cars on the road, right? We're not talking about regulations that really would. There needs to be a modification clause. Maybe it's a. I hate the thought of adding taxes, but maybe it's an extra tax or something that you get to pay, but then you can modify your car. I don't know, but to just totally lock it down and say, nope, that's it, can't do anything. I just think it's disingenuous to the American spirit of kind of what made America America. What made America truly great. And I don't think we've lost it yet. I mean, actually, quite the contrary. I think this last generation of American muscle cars is indicative of what we're still capable of. I mean, holy crap, guys. A freaking modern Mustang Camaro Challenger. Relatively cheap, amazing vehicles. A Demon, 1,000 horsepower Demon, the jailbreak, the whatever, and then Hennessy comes along and makes the Exorcist and all these other, competing cars, and it's just and then out of the box, a ZL1 Camaro, a GT500 Mustang. These things are nuts, they're crazy, they're awesome, so all hope is not lost. It's just, we gotta figure out, how to harness the aftermarket and not throttle, not overregulate coming out of the factory. And to be clear, guys, listen. I'm not like anti-emissions controls or like. Okay, so first of all, localized pollution in big cities is a massive problem back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and modern emission systems have absolutely helped clean up cities. There is no doubt. You know, and so like I also don't want to see every single car on the road burning leaded gas with no emissions controls. I think was truly harmful to society. I really do. And to be honest with you, the whole, climate change, global warming, I don't know. I've done a lot of research on it, actually. It's just so hard because you listen to one person, you read one book, and oh my God, the world's gonna freaking, be underwater in 10 years. And you read another book, listen to another person, and the climate's warming, but like we're gonna be okay. So I don't even know what to believe. I really don't. I actually don't know what to believe, and I don't care in some sense from the perspective of like, as long as I'm doing within reason what I can do, it's like so be it. Like I can only do so much, right? And I'm not going out of my way to over pollute. I drive some fun vehicles that burn some gas and whatnot, but I find it hard to believe that as an automotive enthusiast, my slightly greater contribution to the carbon monoxide and dioxide in the air is the thing that's going to melt the ice caps. Judge how you will on that. So, I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little off topic, but I don't want to see the good old American way get lost to progress and innovation, right? Because that needs to happen on both accounts. We need progress and innovation, but we still need a little bit of that Wild West where we can explore and play and learn and grow and in the aftermarket and improve upon things. Because there's always room for improvement. I don't care how good something is you made. Somebody somewhere can always make it better, and that is such a cool thing about this world of automotive, and that people are able to do that and want to do that and have the abilities. Guys, it's chilling. So with that, I'm going to wrap this one up. God bless America. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.